make you my shake. Slossin' that soldier race. Niggas don't know them days. Take you in back of the buildings. Make you expose your rage. Take you across the tracks. Make you explode the face. Now you official now, but you got a soul to save. I just been cooking that new.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome back. It's 7 o'clock. It's the Keepin' It 100 podcast. It's your boy, Jay Jones. We got Rick the Ruler.
Right here.
And we got a special guest Skyping in. The hostess with the hostess, Miss Bailee. How you feeling?
Hello, everybody.
Welcome to the show.
I appreciate you.
Now, Miss Bailee, she also has her own podcast, which is called 10 Minutes with Bae. Can you go ahead and introduce, tell the people about yourself? A little intro.
Oh. I'm Bailee. I'm from, I tell people the Seattle area because a lot of people don't know the city that I'm from. So I just say Seattle. I have a podcast with Bae. It was a play off my name and the fact that I did it with my boyfriend. So kind of like a double entendre.
We got
yeah. I've been podcasting for a while. I enjoy talking.
Well, that's what's up.
Yeah.
And I know you have a heavy love for the topic that we're speaking about today. So
yeah.
With that being said, also speaking of podcasts, I want to shout out my guy's podcast, DJ Child. Shot his podcast out. Y'all make sure y'all go take a listen to that on Spotify. And the Child's Play podcast, go check that out. And where can they find your podcast at, Bailee?
So I'm going to be putting it back up. I took it down for right now because we're revamping it, adding a third host, and then this coronavirus situation happened. But it was on every platform. But pretty soon I'll I don't know. Right now you can't find it.
It is what it is.
Running soon, so once she does, then we'll definitely shout you out. If you want to come back, you're more than welcome to. So y'all check 2 podcasts out. Well, 1 for right now, and we'll update y'all the other one.
Yeah. I'm
to be continued.
Yeah, because I didn't expect a pandemic. I didn't see that in the future.
Yeah, none of us did.
Yeah.
So let's jump right into it. So we got a segment called The Shit That Caught Our Eyes. And straight off the bat, since we got the coronavirus, obviously there's a lot of shortages and things. And condoms are one of them. So while we're all quarantined in the crib, y'all better practice y'all pull-out game because condoms are short.
It's just going to be a shortage of saran wrap.
There you go. There you go with the saran wrap. Either that or have a plan B. Literally.
Yeah, no doubt. Good luck with that, people.
Yeah, because you can go to the pharmacies and y'all can pick those up if y'all need them, or y'all can do that pull-out game if it's tested. Or
who do you think is using these condoms? Because I've back in my day, before I got a man, I dealt with a lot of fellas. Well, not a lot. But they didn't like to use condoms.
Yeah,
so I'm wondering who's buying them up. You know what I mean?
Maybe it's the teenagers. Maybe it's the younger crowd. We're gonna pray for the young ones though, because
it's a good thing because you can get something more than the coronavirus.
That's true.
Yeah,
I didn't do it to go to the doctor.
I don't know if y'all heard my man Steven Jackson. He said, "Don't have multiple baby mamas. Have one baby have one family." So y'all better. You say what you can because it's gonna get ugly.
I'm very interested. I'm interested in this because think if you're using condoms during a shutdown, it should be safe. You know what I mean? So I'm saying if you are locked in with somebody, usually it's your main thing.
Well, you ain't got to be in the house until 8, so you can go and jump ship real quick.
Oh, okay. I'm wondering.
You can be quarantined, babe. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
you better use
it. That's the thing about a man. That's the thing about a man. No, it doesn't matter what the conditions are. He's gonna find a way.
Oh, we're gonna make it work.
Women find ways too. It go both ways now.
Because if the door's open, the only thing they got to do is walk through.
They didn't say Plan B was out of stock.
Exactly. And you can go to pharmacies
because we're their Plan B.
So.
Oh, okay. I mean, glad to see that people are protecting themselves.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
Yeah, so we think. But we gonna pray on that. We gonna pray on that. And also, while you in the house chilling, there's a possibility of a Nipsey Hussle documentary coming to Netflix. I don't know if y'all have seen this. And the same director, I don't want to mess her name up. It's Ava. I can't never say her name right. But the lady, the lady who did Central 5 on Netflix. She is possibly, they're doing a deal with her, and she's possibly going to be producing the Nipsey Hussle documentary, which I think would be dope.
Yeah, man.
Like Central 5, it's definitely going to be dope. So, and you can't mention Nipsey Hussle. I don't know if y'all all know, but today marks the 1 year anniversary of Nipsey Hussle's death. I still can't believe that he's gone. I can't believe it's been a year. Let me just ask y'all, what was y'all reaction to the Nipsey Hussle passing?
Go ahead, Ben.
Well, I must say, I mean, like I said, I'm from near Seattle, and before moving here, I was raised in California in North Los Angeles County until I was 13. So that with that connection, and then not only that, just being a mother and having a child with somebody, just feeling forlorn and just knowing and seeing their love on just knowing their story and just knowing how much he did for his neighborhood and just how people respected him and just the things that he speaks about his music. It just sucked more than sucked, but it was just crushing to see just someone walk up on him and just kill him that way. And just you don't imagine the life he lived prior to being a rapper, but it's kind of like, damn, that's how he went out in that manner and just
it was definitely
in his neighborhood in front of his store.
Yeah.
That is weird. I mean, that was trash.
Very. And for those who don't know or don't remember the story, Nipsey, as Bailee was mentioning, Nipsey Hussle was gunned down in Los Angeles, California, outside of his store, the Marathon in Los Angeles, California, a place that he was very, very familiar with. He grew up there, or he lived there, and like she said, it was definitely a tragic. Rick, how did you react to it?
I looked at it like when you have someone on the forefront that's trying to do right for his people, it seems like there's always some type of tragedy or whatever that takes him out of the picture or takes that person out of the picture because he have done a lot he done a lot for LA, but his words and his music has encouraged everyone from all over the world. If it didn't, then you're not alive. Yeah. If he didn't encourage you some way, some shape or form, then what the fuck are you doing? So,
true.
That's how I look at it. I go by his words. I'm a hustle and stay motivated.
Yeah. I know for me, again, it seems like every time a high profile person passes away, I'm always like sleeping and waking up to the news. I was actually coming into the living room and my wife mentioned it to me. At first she said he was shot, and this is before he was pronounced dead. And at first I thought she was saying somebody affiliated with Nipsey Hussle. And I had just been put on to Nipsey Hussle probably maybe prior to that year. My homeboy Terrence put me on to him. And after listening to him and just hearing what he stood for, just to know that, I'm like, damn, somebody would attack this man. And then to find out it was in front of his store in LA, it just didn't make sense to me. I was like shocked, dumbfounded, confused. I just was like, I couldn't understand it. And then once he was pronounced dead, I was heartbroken, as a fan, as a black man. And like Rick said, for him to be a black male, he's not too much. I think he's about a year younger than me. And to have the influence that he did, to see him go like that was just, I'm like, damn, we lost another one. It was so tragic. It was just so sad and heartening. So I was hurt. I'm still hurt.
Yeah, no doubt.
And not even to piggyback off that, like I said, being from California, I remember the day Tupac died. I remember where I was. I remember I was in the car. I came overnight. Well, and now it's 92 point. Now it's real LA, but back in the day it was 92.3 The Beat, and it came over the radio that he passed, and every day they would give us updates on him, and he was getting better. And then it's like one day it's like he just died, and like the world was just shook. It was quiet, and I felt that way with Nipsey. Like I just felt sad for such, like I knew him personally. It was just a great loss, and you don't really come across men like that.
Yeah, and just not to cut you off, just hearing like his interviews and then like listening to his music. Then he was a family man, you know, had kids, you know, was engaged to Lauren London. I was just baffled. I was like, who would want to kill him? And, you know, it was just sad. And you know what I mean? Like, and then of course this year we had, the loss of Kobe, which we all know how that was.
Yeah.
But it just was definitely sad, man. Now I was reading an article, and I was reading an article about a documentary that another gentleman is supposed to be putting out, and he was interviewing police officers and former gang members, and one of the gang members stated that Nipsey, he was tripping, he got caught slipping, and that he forgot the code, basically stating that since he had got money and status, that he should have been more protected. He should have been more careful. Do you all think Nipsey Hussle got comfortable in the neighborhood that he was from and lived in, and that played somewhat of a part into his death?
One thing I always battle with, actually, I think it's a long-standing kind of argument. Like, do you make money and leave your hood? You know what I mean? Or where you come from, or do you stay? I always felt like when you make money, I feel like you shouldn't abandon where you come from or neglect where you come from. I feel like you can still give to your community. But I do feel like once you reach a certain place, especially with his history, I feel like he probably should have removed himself a little more than he did. Only because, I mean, there's people that hate, envious. But I guess he felt, I survived in these streets the way I have, all this time. I don't know. And I guess like a lot of people did respect him. So I guess maybe he figured nobody would walk up on him the way that was just weird.
But you always got one hater. I understand, I'm not no gangbanger, or I've been a part of a gang, but being in an urban neighborhood, growing up in urban neighborhoods, I feel like there's always that one guy that always is going to be a hater. He's going to always feel like you should have did something for them. And just with that situation, I feel like Nipsey probably should have had some type of, I know he's a felon, so he probably can't really hold no weapons. But, you do, like you said, you have that balance. Do you leave the hood? I think you just come back. You come back when you feel it's right. You know what I'm saying?
Well, not to cut you off, but then you would think, so you have situations like Pop Smoke, who did leave the hood and got killed in Calabasas, California.
See, that's the thing. I have been in a gang, so
shit.
It is what it is. So regardless, haters going to get to you if they want to get to you, right? Regardless where you move to. So Nipsey was the new age Robin Hood. So that's how I look at him. So regardless if he stayed in the hood or whatever, if they wanted to get to him, they're going to get to him, because sometimes your best friends are your worst enemies.
That's true. I think I also feel like, because Nipsey was loved so much. The type of person Nipsey was, he was the people person. He was for the people. You know what I mean? Everything he did was to give back to the people, and like you all said, he was so well respected.
Right.
He felt comfortable, you know what I mean? But it was the one guy that, tried to get a record deal or tried to get his music to Nipsey. Nipsey, wasn't really feeling it. They got into an argument, called him a snitch, and then he went back and did what he did. So now, do you feel like that hurts, like as a black man, like giving back to your community? Does that give you a different perspective on like giving back to your community and staying in your, community? And when to get out?
I feel like, I honestly believe, just from what I've read like from Nipsey's words. I honestly believe if he were to come back, I think he would do the same thing. Honestly, because it's kind of like, what can you do? Like, what can you do? I mean, people are going to be people.
Yep.
People are going to be people, and from listening to his music, it's like he was always kind of prepared for that to happen to him anyway. I mean, you know the life he lived or have lived.
But damn, he escaped the gang life.
Yeah. Did
he? I mean, for the most part, like I think he was bridging that gap. As we all heard, it was reported once he passed away, he was putting in programs to kind of get the gangs to come together and things like that. And you also heard gangs, like even from prison, talking about how it kind of unified them. So I think I don't want to say escape because, you're in it. But I feel like that part of him, like the street life of him was behind him. He was moving on. He was, family life. And to go out, like you said, in a violent manner, it was just like, damn, like, I didn't expect that. Like, from just, I know the dude who killed him was part of a gang member, part of a gang.
The same gang.
He was part of the same gang.
The same gang.
That's what I said.
Rolling 60.
Yeah.
Damn.
Your closest friends can be your worst enemies.
Damn.
Because they want what you want. They want what you have, rather.
He approached him earlier that day, from what I understand. And I don't know what, I guess, from what I understand is Nipsey knew who he was or knew, I guess what they said he was like a snitch or something. Or he told him, get out of here. And he came back later and killed him, from my understanding of what happened. I guess he was embarrassed or what. I don't know.
Yeah, and they said being called a snitch is like basically being called like a child molester, in a gang and this and the other. So, I mean, we already know. We kind of, from the urban area, we kind of know the definition of a snitch and how it is in the streets. But I can only imagine it's escalated when you in a gang. Right. So,
yeah.
But let's take a look at some of like Nipsey's accomplishments. So his first major distribution CD, Victory Lap, it was nominated for a Grammy. I actually felt like it should have won.
Me too.
No disrespect to Cardi B, but I felt like Nipsey's body of work was a little bit better.
Yeah, no doubt.
And his album went certified, or I'm sorry, platinum. Went platinum twice. I'm not quite sure. And outside of that, he had a ton of businesses. He had, he was the ambassador of Puma. He had a Vector 90 program that he had set up, which was like a STEM program for like science, technology, and things like that for kids. Of course, he had his Marathon clothing label, and he also had a Marathon agency, which was like a digital marketing business, and he was heavily invested in cryptocurrency. So he was doing a lot, you know what I mean? And that's why it was so sad to see his life be cut so short, man. Like, it was just like, damn, and he was just still working in the neighborhood to bridge the gaps, gang, you know what I mean? And it was just like, damn. Now, I just found this out too, which was going to sound strange, but I didn't realize he was selling Crenshaw, one of his mixtapes, for $100 a pop.
Oh, yeah. I think it was like 100 of them for, was it 10 of them for $100 or something like that? Or 100 of them for $100?
And Jay-Z bought them.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, like, and now I was listening to the interviews and he was like, you can still get the mixtape free, but part of like the sales strategy was to sell it for $100 a pop. And I was like, damn, that's pretty damn gangster right there. You know, like this to sell a mixtape, and out of all people to buy it, Jay-Z, like, damn, you know what I'm saying? They don't get no better than that. So
no doubt. That's
what's up. So now, let me ask y'all this. How do y'all think? Let me ask you this first. What's one of y'all favorite Nipsey Hussle songs? Do y'all have a favorite Nipsey Hussle song?
Yeah, one of my favorites is one is I think it's 1 Take 3, and on his new one, I don't forget the name of it. Damn, sound crazy. I don't really listen to names of songs. I just listen to things all the way through. Oh. Well, you go ahead. I'll look it up. There's too many.
Yeah, it is.
I know for me, it is a lot. I didn't even realize that I had become such a huge Nipsey fan. Like I've been listening to Nipsey for over like a year now, and like even like after his death, I still listen to him on a regular. But one of my favorites, of course, is one of the intros that we played was "Hustle and Motivate."
Yeah.
Another one was was Clarity with Dave East. Another one was like Ocean Views off of I think with Young Thug. Then another one was like it's so many.
Yeah. Yeah, it is One Take Three. One Take Three.
So,
but you know, with his, I've listened to his music and been listening to it for I guess about 6 months before his passing. But it wasn't even his music that drew me. I was hearing the positive thing. We all the way over here on the East Coast. Mm-hmm. It's just the positive things that we heard that he was doing for people, how he was helping people. So his music could have been trash. But for him, I was supporting him because of what he was doing. He was just out there trying to make sure if he got it, he was making sure the people around him get it. Yeah,
and that's the thing. And that was the thing about him. And that's why I feel like, you know, he kind of got a little comfortable because he was so much of a giver. Like he was giving back to his community. He was, you know, giving felons jobs. You know, felons work at his store. He was getting them into technology. He was hipping them the game. You know what I'm saying? Making sure that they had a second chance in adapting to life. You know, just it was like, man, how can you not like this dude? And when you heard him in interviews, it was just like, damn, you know what I mean? Like, then he had the whole documentary that he was doing on Dr. Sebi and just like putting people on game. And it was like, man, like, you know, his life was cut short, you know, by some sucker shit, man. Just
yeah, that's how I feel about it. It's just like, it's just so, just to do all that and your life ends with like just some like Buster walking up to you and just doing something that you wouldn't even think would be done to you. That's probably why you was even able to walk up to him and do that. Cause you're like, you're really gonna have like, what is this dude doing?
Yeah, like why is he even like how is he even around like Nipsey?
Yeah,
like it's just it's crazy. And one of the gang member also mentioned. Now this is what kind of caught me off surprise. He said by Nipsey Hussle forgetting the code, quote unquote. He said even his own gang probably wouldn't have like helped him out in that situation. Mm-hmm. And I found that to kind of be like puzzling. Like, damn, like even your own, like why would you say that? Even though he is a little bit more established, you know what I'm saying? Got a little bit more of a name. Like, damn, I thought that was the whole point of like a gang. You know what I'm saying? Like if you see one of your homies in trouble, then you help him out. But now that you said, I didn't realize the dude that killed him was from the same gang as him. Damn, that's still
it is bad.
Now, the gentleman's name who murdered Nipsey Hussle, his name is Eric Holder. He was indicted by a grand jury on 1 count of murder, 2 counts of attempted murder, 1 count of possession of a firearm by a felon, and 2 counts of assault with a firearm. What do y'all think happens to him? I'm surprised he's still alive.
I'm surprised he's still alive too.
Like
the question is he still alive? Because I doubt it.
Right.
Nah, if he was dead, you would have known it. Like you would have definitely knew it. Like they would have reported that he died. I'm just because I know when it happened, he was getting threats. His family was getting threats. You know, it was. I'm still surprised he's alive because there was so many death threats that were coming at him. Like other gangs were so disappointed and they were, you know, standing up for Nipsey and it was uniting gangs. And for him to go in with that type of like reputation, I'm still surprised that he's still alive. And I don't know how much longer he will be. You know,
but maybe All the condoms being sold is gone to the prison he at.
You said what?
All the condoms that they running out of condoms is going to the prison where he at.
Yeah, man, he gonna definitely be fighting for his life in that joint, man.
No doubt.
He gonna. Oh man, I don't even want to think about that. No plan B for that, bro. Ain't no plan.
Saying.
I think they have him in solitary confinement or something like that. I think that's the reason why he's not dead. If he's not dead, from my understanding, he was in solitary confinement.
Yeah, he gonna have to do the rest of his bid there.
Yeah, he should have been killed.
You like this dude was, and I know a lot of people didn't really know who Nipsey Hussle was because of the route that Nipsey Hussle went as far as his music. He didn't sign with the major deal like right away, like a lot of artists did. He actually he was actually signed to Epic, and then things didn't work out there, and he went the independent route. A lot of people attached him because he was dating with Lauren London. You know what I'm saying? But he was doing a lot, and he was loved by so many. That dude, I don't got him making it another 2 years in jail. And his trial is supposed to start, matter of fact, like this week or sometime next month, because we done with March. So I'm interested to see what he gets. I'm pretty sure he's gonna get life, for the most part. But I'm interested to see how long he's actually gonna be alive. I ain't got him being alive for too much longer. No. Not that I would death on him, but just kind of going in to what he went in with. Nah.
Exactly.
Now let me ask y'all this: have y'all taken anything like away from Nipsey's like legacy? Would you say he has a legacy at this point?
Oh yeah, definitely. I would say he does.
Have you taken anything away from like the way that he lived his life or his movement that he had, and if you have, what have you taken from him?
Go ahead.
Oh, no, just to honestly like hustle, and you can do whatever you, honestly, it may sound cliche, but you can do whatever you want to do and set your mind to, and you can grind and you can uplift people. You don't have to be in competition with people. You can help them. They can help you. You can help your community. I mean, there's always something you can do. That's kind of what I learned. And take care of your people and just loyalty and just, I don't know. It's like he lived by codes that it seems like a lot of people have forgot. And I felt like he reminded a lot of people of, ways to live life and codes that you should live by, and just to be a good person, or, that's kind of what I took from it. He was just a great man to me. And I know he probably has a past. He's probably done some things, but
man, we all got a past.
Yeah.
It's
just like, you can go back and look at his old tweets and like, damn, like this dude was wise. I was about to say nigga, my bad. I don't know. But I'm just saying, like, he was wise, and
he was definitely a
rapper.
Yeah.
And if you went, oh, sorry.
No, go ahead. I was just going to say.
No, I'm saying I watched his whole memorial, and I'm like, the way that people spoke of him and the things that he did, even really, really young. I was like, his brother said he like built a computer from scratch just because he wanted to like type plays or write rhymes or on it or stuff like that. You're like, damn.
Yeah, and just to hear like from him, when you say rapper, people look at him just like as an average rapper, and then like the background that he was, gang affiliated, like, he has that stigma of, just the basic rapper, but he came into the game. I was listening to one of the interviews that I actually posted on our Instagram page, as y'all can see it on the screen. He was just talking about the value of liabilities and, assets. They were asking him why he didn't have, any jewelry on, and he was like, nah, he wasn't wasting his money on that. He would prefer to buy some land. And even a guy who was interviewing him was so shocked. He was like, wait a minute, what did you say? And he was like, yeah, man, like, jewelry depreciates, and, I'm all for trying to help my people. And by helping my people, I mean, like, owning things and getting buying land and things like that. So, and this was young Nipsey. This was
right. Yeah.
And all that. And I was like, damn, like, I can only, at 19, I wasn't where he was at 19.
No, I was trying to get some.
Yeah, I was out in the streets and getting It wasn't no land. It was some other. I was trying to get into some other stuff.
Getting some land.
Yeah.
Getting some land.
It wasn't that kind of land.
Yeah,
So,
no doubt.
For real.
But even I seen. Sorry to cut you off, Jay. One of his interviews, he was saying that the difference between him and everyone else is that he never gave up.
Mm-hmm.
So then and there, if you don't go by that code, then whatever you're trying to get into, what's the purpose of getting into it? Because you're gonna have haters, which they showed he had haters. You're gonna have doubts. You're gonna even doubt yourself. Because like he said, he went through every emotion that a human can go through. But he still never gave up. He sat down, took a seat, took a deep breath, and he's back in the race. So that's what we got to take. That's the way life is. So whatever you're trying to be, get into whatever, your career move or whatever, and just everyday life. Don't give up.
Oh, right.
Most definitely. I found it interesting because my man, I ain't gonna say my man because I don't know him, but you may be a little bit familiar with him out of there on the left coast. Wack 100. He was saying how Nipsey wasn't. I think he said his music wasn't.
Yeah. Wasn't not classic. Was that what he said?
He said a legacy or something like that, and I was just like, damn.
Or that he wasn't a legend.
Yeah. I was kind of confused by that. I don't want to speak ill on Wack 100. I know the reputation he carries and things of that nature, but I was just shocked and surprised because
Wack 100 is whack.
Oh shit!
But I'm just saying, because to say that, because my thing is, you should never, unless positive, speak on the dead. I don't care. I wouldn't even speak about my worst enemy. If my worst enemy, not that I have one, but if I had someone I didn't like and they died today, I wouldn't speak on them if I didn't have anything nice to say.
Yeah, I just don't.
I mean, even if he didn't mean anything by it, like even the whole thing with Kodak Black did, like with Lauren, like even if he didn't mean anything by it, it's kind of like just don't speak on it.
Yeah, that was disrespectful.
I felt so too.
Black is a different.
Yeah.
Idiot.
Yeah, he's an idiot.
He's definitely different. I don't mean no ill will, but he's definitely different. But
somebody should have punched him in his mouth.
Yeah, quickly. He was tripping off that comment, and I'm glad T.I. actually checked him on that. He checked him real quick on that shit, and
that's another story.
Yeah, but
that's another story.
I just felt like, as a black man, like he should have just been uplifted. Everybody was uplifting him, and just speaking so much positive about him. And we all know that Nipsey, he didn't do it by himself. He had help. He had good people in his corner and things like that to kind of help him get to where he was. But he should have just been. I just feel like Wack 100 should have just been kind of more like a little uplifting. And I can't remember the whole interview because I did watch it, but I was like, damn, like you shouldn't have. You uplifted him and then you cut him off. You know what I'm saying? And just uplift him. He overcame jail. He overcame being in the gang to come where he's come from. It was just like, why? You know what I'm saying?
And, also I thought, so not to cut you off, I'm sorry, but what I feel was interesting about that, like Wack 100 is like, isn't he like a part of the game management team? And the game was like,
he's super close with him.
Super close to Nipsey. That's where I thought that was weird. And the only reason I thought he was wrong for that was because it was already known. I feel like Nipsey was a living legend when he was alive.
Yeah.
So to say that he wasn't legendary when he died was like,
it's just hating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
I totally forgot about that. Yeah, he manages game. And I mean, when the game passed, I mean, we all know he knew Nipsey, and he's just constantly posting, even, because people have a tendency of only remembering a person for a certain time period, and then after that, it's kind of move on with life. But Game was actually like, him and I believe Dave East were like constantly posting about him. So for him to come out and say that, it was like, damn, I wonder if him and Game had a conversation. You know what I'm saying? About that.
I'm sure it wasn't a good one.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure, they bros, so, they probably...
Game look like he don't play.
Right.
Yeah, so
And everybody should know. I mean, that also brought up the conversation. Like a legend is no one ever really speaks of someone's just their music as being a legend. So because I think he tried to come back and say, "Oh, we're talking about his music. He never had number ones or something like that." But I'm like, music stats usually isn't what depicts or measures if someone's a legend or not. I mean, from my understanding, but so I don't know what that fool was talking about.
I think even musically, I feel like he only had one major album, but I still feel like the mixtape that he came out with, I still feel like he had a really good catalog, and a lot of his mixtapes kind of connect with his album. And like I spoke about with the Crenshaw mixtape, the one that he sold for, $100, it was produced and made like an album. You know what I mean? So even though he had one major distribution album, I still feel like his body of work was still legendary. You know what I mean? I mean, Biggie had about two. I don't know if you want to count the third one, but I mean, Biggie had two albums, and I don't even think he really was on a bunch of mixtapes because mixtapes weren't as hot. But I mean, Biggie's still a legend. And I also feel like the impact that Nipsey had was just legendary within itself. So music, lifestyle, whatever, legend in my. So
no doubt.
Without question.
That's just how I felt about it. So, I mean, when I look at Nipsey's legacy, what I learned from him was one, to hustle, of course, but two, just like who he surrounded himself with, like the questions he asked, like the longevity, the route that he took. He could have easily had a major distribution label, but he chose to do it his way. You know what I mean? Like, even the deal he had with Atlantic, he was working on that deal for multiple years, and he finally got it. You know what I mean? He put the work in, he hustled, and just be strategic, to think out the box. And that's a lot what he did. He was ahead of his time. You know what I mean? With a lot of the shit that he did. And he was well loved for it. And I can respect the hustle for it.
He's showing that when you sign to these record labels, you ain't got to kiss their ass.
Nah.
The artists need to understand they need you more than you need them.
Yeah.
So you can take your time, or still, they saying they're going to put you in a dress. They want to do this to you, this and that, whatever. Make you look like a damn clown.
Right.
Just for some paper. You only getting 1% of what they're going to make.
And I mean, you think of like, not to cut you off, and when I was listening to his interview, he was saying how he studied like Master P. And we all know how Master P shook the game up with his hustle. You know what I mean? And how he was just looking at other people, how they had their deals structured. And I mean, you think of like other artists. You hear Mace talking about trying to get his publishing back, and you hear Meg Thee Stallion right now talking about her contract issues. He didn't have that issue because he took the long route. You know what I'm saying? And he got his masters.
Because he educated himself before he jumped out there.
Exactly. So that's what I took. You know what I'm saying, from Nipsey. Like, you gotta educate yourself on the situation before you jump out there. So it's definitely dope. So how y'all gonna remember Nipsey? I mean, I know we kind of went over all of that. But
man, it's hard, especially when you're still upset about Nipsey, and then you have, like you said earlier, Kobe.
Yeah,
it almost kind of. It's like I thought I would be numb, and you think you would be numb to it after something like that, and then the Kobe happened. You're like, damn! Like, I was sad about that. I probably thought about Kobe Bryant and his family every day, maybe even to this day. It's like,
yeah, and that it was like when got through Nipsey, Kobe hit, and you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I can only imagine how it feels out there on the West Coast, out there where you're at. Because I know how I felt here.
Yeah,
me and Rick here on the East Coast. So, yeah,
it was just it is unbelievable. Like, I mean, it's just like, because with Kobe, he was a part of everybody's childhood, especially me. I mean, I played basketball up until from I was a little kid to throughout high school. So even though I was Let me tell you. I mean, I did. I don't know about now, but
okay.
But my favorite player though, even though I lived in LA, or was Allen Iverson. But you respected Kobe though.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I was an Iverson fan, but but then then I was a LeBron fan, so then I kind of had a little rivalry with Kobe.
So you a Lakers fan?
No. Oh, now? Yeah. I follow wherever LeBron goes. Huh?
Okay.
Wherever LeBron goes, that's where I go.
All right, cool.
Before him was Allen Iverson, but I don't know.
What you know about AI? That's around these parts around here. What you know about
yes,
AI?
it is.
I was a point guard, so I used to, my handles was like Allen Iverson. That's why I love Allen. Back in the day, not anymore.
Okay.
But,
all right. I was gonna say we want to see some clips of you with them handles out there.
I'll show you some clips. But I didn't grow. I was kind of tall in middle school, and I just never grew.
It's all right. If you got handles, you be good. And a little jump shot, you be all right.
I gave up my hoop dreams, but
hey, trust me. I know.
Everybody respects me. Huh?
Nah. I understand you giving up your sports dreams. I kind of fell in the same boat. It was once I started making money, and it was like money and girls. That's what it went to, and
that's what happened to me.
Yeah,
I was a tomboy, and then once boys started liking me, I gave up basketball.
Yeah, that shit went to third. I should have kept it though. Seeing how these families get paid now.
Once moms kept saying she was gonna kick me out, I was like, forget sports. I gotta get some paper.
Yeah, you gotta get the bread. The bread is what counts. Yeah, so we gotta get ready to wrap it up.
Like they're doing with the condoms.
Right.
Like somebody already
I caught that. So we definitely want to thank you, Bailee, for Skyping in.
Most definitely.
We had some technical difficulties. We wish you could come through the studio, but you all the way out on the left coast. But if you ever come to DC sometime soon, and we still in the studio, you're more than welcome to stop through. Once again, y'all check her out. We'll give y'all an update, or if we can, we'll bring her on to relaunch her podcast, 10 Minutes with Bay. Y'all holler at that. Y'all check.
It's just 10 minutes.
Is it 10 minutes or did you go to 20?
I think I'm going to start doing like 20, 25, 30. But.
All right.
Okay. All right.
You just call it a few minutes with Bailee.
Yeah, you know how people's attention span get these days.
But it's dope. It's definitely dope content. So.
Appreciate you.
Y'all
keeping it with 100. Is that what y'all call it?
Yeah. You gotta say it a little bit more ratchet though. You don't gotta say it all bougie. You don't gotta
100.
Let that LA come out.
Yeah, you don't gotta pronounce it.
Yeah, it was fun.
So we appreciate everybody checking in. Once again, it's the Keeping It 100 podcast. Also, y'all check out my man DJ Chow. Y'all check out this podcast too, Child's Play. Once again, I'm Jay Jones. That's Rick the Ruler. And that's our special guest, the hostess with the mostest.
Yes, sir.
It's Bailee. We gonna holler at y'all. Hey, y'all practice that social distancing, all right?
No doubt.
Y'all take it easy. It's Keeping It 100. We out.
All right.
Dropping a few. Think if I call it the grand, the people gon' call it the truth. I ain't really trip on the credit. I just paid all of my dues. I just respected the game. Now my name all in the news. Tripping on all of my moves. Quote me on this, got a lot more to prove. Remember I came in this bitch, fresh out the county with nothing to lose.
For nothing. No. Wanna count on you, but I don't do this shit for nothing. No, not at all.